Donald Trump is in complete decline right now, and there is nothing that he can do to cover it up. I don't care how much makeup he puts on his bruised hands, if he tries to cover up his kinkles, or if Kash Patel has to lie for him, which of course Kash Patel has been running a lot of cover. We know that Donald Trump is collapsing, and that is exactly what was just exposed on Air Force One. And then Kash Patel tried to jump in to save Donald Trump, but we know he's lying. We're going to get into it all and the health scare that becomes more and more apparent every single day. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into Donald Trump's health scare, I want to start with the health scare that he is creating for tens of millions of people in America and why it might be the most devastating move in his entire presidency. It was all broken down by Rachel Maddow right here.
The Republican-controlled House of Representatives announced today that they will take a fifth straight week of previously unplanned vacation next week. Now, to be clear, there's nothing about the government shutdown that requires Congress to be out of session. They're supposed to be in session. But for a fifth straight week, they are calling in sick, canceling class, refusing to convene the House, and perhaps not incidentally, refusing to swear in the new member of Congress from Arizona, Adelita Grijalva, who won a special election last month, but they won't allow her to be sworn in, and they won't say why, but Democrats will say why they think it is, and it's because she would be the 218th and therefore the deciding vote to force a release of the Epstein files, in which President Trump himself reportedly plays a fairly starring role. Trump's attorney general has reportedly told him his name appears in the Epstein files multiple times. Trump, perhaps unsurprisingly, is refusing to release those files. But once Adelita Grijalva is sworn in, they may no longer legally be able to refuse the release of those files any longer. And so we are now heading into a fifth straight week of Republicans refusing to convene the House of Representatives, a fifth straight week of unplanned vacation. Apparently just to try to protect Trump from whatever is in those Epstein files about him. On day 17 of the government shutdown, government workers and military families are lining up at food pantries all over the country. Trump is apparently excited to have another crack at firing the people involved in keeping our nuclear weapons safe. They're citing the shutdown to go through with an 80% furlough of the National Nuclear Security Administration as of Monday morning. Remember, they accidentally fired all the national nuclear security people right at the beginning of Trump's term in office, and then they said, oops, we didn't mean to do that, and they brought them all back. Well, now they are furloughing all of them. These are the people who keep our nuclear weapons safe from, you know, theft or going off when they shouldn't. Yeah, who needs them? Democrats say their price for relenting on the shutdown is that Republicans need to reverse their changes to health insurance. Their policy changes that are going to spike people's health insurance costs in very short order, almost by almost unbelievable amounts. And I will show you what I mean. States are now starting to release the actual numbers on what the Republicans' policy changes have done to health insurance costs with this legislation that they've passed this year. This is what the Democrats have been making a stink about. You've heard, like, Democrats are concerned in the shutdown fight about healthcare costs and health insurance, and you think, like, oh, Democrats are always concerned about health costs. That's nice. I care about health costs. I'm glad they're standing up for it. No, it's this specific thing. Combined, your couple's income is $85,000 a year. In Maryland, your insurance premium is going to go up by $13,700. In Minnesota, your insurance is going to go up by $15,500. In Nevada, it's going to go up by $18,100. In Kentucky, the increase for you guys as a couple will be that you are expected to pay an additional $23,700 per year. That is the amount of increase we are looking at in people's health insurance premiums.
Not that I want to make this a question of messaging, because healthcare isn't a question of messaging. Healthcare also isn't policy. Healthcare is a human right, and we should treat it as such. But Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Mike Johnson, They fucked up with this one. They thought that they could cry illegals, 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 and it would all distract us and throw people into chaos, but Democrats have been staying on this one message, and we absolutely should. It is the most broken system in our country when people are furious with everything that Donald Trump wants to break. We don't have health care, we have sick care, and it doesn't work. It only works for Donald Trump. But it seems like the only health care he's getting these days is, again, makeup on the hands, but also a little assistance when he needs to walk, which is what was exposed on Air Force One. Trump boards Air Force One using small stairs after suspicious discovery. Donald Trump quickly boarded Air Force One using the plane's small stairs in Palm Beach on Sunday following the discovery of a suspicious item in the area. A White House official told Fox that the president, 79, opted for the smaller stairs due to increased security measure. The FBI are investigating the item, which officials suspect to be a hunting stand, according to Fox. It was discovered by the Secret Service on Friday, the day before Trump arrived in Florida at Palm Beach International Airport for a golfing weekend at his private resort. The item was found in a tree that had a clear line of sight to the airport. NBC News cited a senior official familiar with the investigation who said the stand was around 200 yards away from the area where Air Force One usually does not park, but used on Friday due to construction at the airport. During advanced security preparations prior to the Palm Beach arrival, which included the use of technology and comprehensive physical sweeps, our teams identified items of interest near Palm Beach International Airport, Secret Service Chief of Communications said in a statement to the Daily Beast. There was no impact to any movements and no individuals were present or involved at the location. The Secret Service says that it was not able to provide details about the items or their intent, noting this incident underscores the importance of our layered security measure. Air Force One's small stairs that Donald Trump had to use are shorter and sturdier and provide access from the belly of the plane, not via the usual heightened level the president is usually seen entering and exiting from the plane. Trump did not discuss the latest security measures while speaking to the media on Air Force One on his way back to Washington on Sunday. The president returned to existing Air Force One via the tall stairs when he landed, according to footage from Fox. Now, I certainly don't want to be a conspiracy theorist about everything. Having said that, really? Donald Trump had to use the short stairs for security reasons? Donald Trump, the guy with the swollen ankles and the slurred speech and the pudding brain and the melting hands, had to use it for security reasons? I couldn't have got that figured out? Are we sure that it's not that after a long day of golf or of sitting on his fat ass, Donald Trump couldn't get up the big boy stairs? We know we've seen Donald Trump have problems with the big boy stairs in the past. I don't want to say that they're covering up his health, but I also don't want to say it's out of the realm of possibilities. But I also think that this is important in this moment right now, that we, as independent media, should be pushing the narrative, which is not a narrative, it's just the absolute truth, that Donald Trump is weak. Donald Trump is weak. He is more insecure, insignificant, and losing every single day than at any other point in either of his presidencies. Donald Trump is losing at a clip of about 95% in court right now, even with his own judges. And of course, he is unable to negotiate a government shutdown. Donald Trump is seeing his polls just plummet. Let's talk about how weak this guy is. Please, whether it be physically, mentally, politically, there is this air around the Trump administration, or at least there was in the beginning, that they were inevitable, that there was nothing that we could do to resist. I say no to that. Let's point out the failures of Donald Trump's administration. Let's point out the faults of Donald Trump's administration. Let's point out the weaknesses of Donald Trump's administration. And that all starts with Donald Trump, who is significantly weaker, especially coming off of a No King's Day that really went and showed people how united we are in the fight against Trump. His poll numbers, they're worse than ever before. And we can make that clear by making a scene again and again and again. And someone amongst all the speeches who I don't think got enough credit for doing exactly that is someone who I'm sure you watch every single day, a good friend of mine whose voice I wanted to uplift and show you because this speech was so fantastic. It was Brian Tyler Cohen right here.
Because here, their pressure does not work. Because we're not a law firm that can be bought off. We are not a university that can be bought off. We're not a tech CEO that can be bought off. We are not a media outlet that can be bought off. They hate what we're doing here because you cannot buy off millions upon millions of people taking to the streets. Because we are not leveraged by the federal government. We can't be cowed into submission because of some sick obsession with money or proximity to power. Because millions of people taking to the streets right now destroys the optics that Donald Trump has total control. So do me a favor, take a look at the people around you. Does this look right here like Donald Trump has total control? No! That right there is why he and his party are so desperate to shame you for being here. That is why they're so desperate to rebrand this thing as a hate America rally. But you know what hating America looks like? Hating America looks like screwing over farmers and bailing out Argentina instead. It looks like sending secret police accountable to no one into our cities. It looks like silencing comedians for the crime of making fun of dear leader. It looks like gifting yourself a $400 million jet from Qatar. It looks like building a $200 million ballroom to assuage your fragile ego while 40 million Americans are living in poverty. It looks like blocking the release of the Epstein files. Like stripping away Medicaid from 17 million Americans. It looks like right now keeping the government closed because you are so fucking hellbent on stripping away healthcare from 24 million Americans and trying to get their costs to double, triple, or quadruple. So if you're looking for the Hate America rally, might I suggest the White House?
They really wish that they could buy us off. They wish there was some way to make us capitulate. They wish that they could instill fear. But every time you turn out, you show up, you fight back, you are making it clear to everyone around you that Donald Trump is not going to just win, that they cannot just barge into our communities and rip them apart, that we will continue to fight them. And that is the culture of resistance that we have to instill, that we have to show, that we have to demonstrate every single day. I am tired of the air of inevitability. I am not a law firm. I am not ABC. I am not Columbia University. I will not bend the knee to Donald Trump, and I know you won't either. As independent media, as people fighting back, we just have to be that much more strong. We just have to have that much greater strength in our convictions. We're certainly going to on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you're stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.